Now to our top story, more housing help coming for dozens of chronically homeless veterans in Hawaii, a group that is slowly getting financial assistance to get off the streets permanently. KITV4's Paul Drews has details. So Paul, how many homeless vets are we talking about?
Well, here in Hawaii, between 1,000 and 2,000, with roughly 400 to 600 being chronically homeless. Over the past few years, over 80 vouchers for housing subsidies have been given to this group, and now money for another 40 vouchers is on the way. But instead of concentrating on all those numbers, we want to show you how this housing program helps Hawaii's homeless vets. It's an ordinary afternoon in an ordinary apartment in Waipahu. But what is anything but ordinary is the journey Curtis Remento took just to get here.
I got this place. I got lucky. It's better than living in a tent.
And he would know because he spent several years living in a tent, on the streets, and on drugs.
I was into drugs, alcohol, and I felt like all the hardships that I was going through, I was blaming everyone about my hardships.
But his love for his family proved to be stronger than even his addictions.
Just about the holidays, and I was sitting in my tent, and I wanted my family and my children back in my life.
He spent months getting off the streets and into a shelter where he overcame his addiction. Then 2 years later, he received a housing voucher for a place of his own.
They saved my life, and I'm so grateful. There's not enough words that I can say.
In order to qualify for the vouchers, veterans who have been chronically homeless have to make a plan to develop their independence so they don't end up back on the streets. Each voucher for a single vet can provide up to $1,072 a month for housing and utilities. But to qualify, veterans must have some income and contribute 30% to their housing needs. If they continue to meet qualifications, veterans can receive housing benefits for life.
Dad, you want one?
For Curtis, the housing voucher provided more than just a place to live. It allowed him to get his life back.
I got my family and my kids back in my life, and that is so cool.
His 18-year-old son, Justin, now lives with him. And after seeing how drugs and alcohol nearly destroyed his dad, this teenager has some advice for his own father.
We don't want to end up seeing him go through that again and lose his family. So just like to tell him, don't mess this up again.
Curtis is now working at a Waianae homeless shelter to help others get off the streets. Meanwhile, the Department of Veterans Affairs is asking for 100 more vouchers each year for the next 5 years from the federal government in the effort to eliminate homelessness for veterans by the year 2015. Paul Drews, KITV4 News.